Hello, hello. Hello. Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three, one, two, three. You guys hear me? Any echoes good clear? No? Not clear?
Mike sir, Mike sir, we need mic for the live stream. We need mic. During live stream, we need the mic because I can't hear you clearly. The mic, yeah. We need it. The people watching on the live stream won't be able to hear you.
We're waiting a few more minutes, guys. Few more minutes. More people coming in. How's everybody doing tonight, today, this evening, afternoon? Night for me. Actually, 5:30 a.m. Everybody welcome, welcome. So while we are waiting, how many of you have heard of Web3? Please raise your hands. I'm going to ask some questions, so don't raise hands if you don't know. Okay? How many of you have done some work, like some research on Web3? Okay, good. It's a good news. I can say anything, you guys will believe that. I like that. And you too, you can go outside. All right, that's good. Um, yes, come in, come in. Welcome, welcome. How many of you have iPhones? Please raise your hands. Only people with bellies have iPhones. What's up with that? How about, how about Android phones? Everybody else has Android, I assume? Okay, great, awesome. What's the latest version of, and what's the most popular Android phone here? Samsung, what model? Galaxy. What model is it? S23. Yeah. All right, so we will skip iPhone. See, my talk was all wrong. I'm glad I मैंने रट्टा नहीं मारा, yeah. Because Shell was telling me to pair, so I said no, I'm not going to make ratta because I have to see what people have. Okay, where is it? Awesome. Okay, great. Our chief guest is here. All right, guys. Um, Welcome and thank you for joining us here today. This is a part of, this is a day two and part of our BCrypt Web3 series. And a lot of people don't know here what Web3 is. So today's goal will be, by the time you are done after some sessions, hopefully you know what Web3 is and why you are here and why as a I think all of you guys, I think most of you are in tech, agree? And it's mostly in software development. So this would be good for you learning why you should be paying attention to Web3 now, and why it's good for you if some of you want to, get involved early in this space. Um, so Before I have my other talk where I will explain why Web3. How many of you have seen agenda or have seen the agenda? This is good. This audience is I can say anything, they will believe me. Okay, all right. So thank you, App Inventive, for having us here. We really appreciate this. This is an amazing place. Shan and I came here last year in October and met the team here, and we saw this is a very cool space, and we thought this would be cool. Hey, if we can do an event here, and I think App Inventive team was great to help us here and host everything here. So everybody, thank you, and let's do a clap for App Inventive. And Shell is there. He's done a lot of work organizing this day. So everybody, one more time for Shell. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what Shell likes to eat? Anybody? Yes. Naan and naan. Okay. So if you want to be friend with Shell, now you know what to do. Invite to your place with naan and dal. All right. So, okay, guys. So let's get serious. Today, part of this whole day, we have what, 4 or 5 hours? Everything you are going to learn about Web3. We have some great speakers. We have experts who are actually building L1, L2s, and also working on different projects in Web3 space. So I'm going to invite, you, if you want to know what time we'll be speaking, there is agenda online, BCrypt.live. You go check out when there's a break, BCrypt.live, you'll know who the speaker coming out. With that said, let me invite today our chief guest from App Inventive, and then he's going to talk about the company and tell you guys, and then we'll continue on that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Simon, for giving us a chance to represent all of you. And my name is Piyush. I'm co-founder in App Inventive, and I would like to give you a brief introduction about App Inventive, when we started, what we have achieved so far, and what are our technical capabilities. Just So sorry for the last minute hiccup. So we were not prepared for this, but Sudeep, who was going to be our speaker this afternoon, had to leave because he had some function, some good news. He recently became father, so he is not able to join us. So in place, I'm just filling his place and trying to give you a brief about Apple. In the meanwhile, we are setting up the system. I would like to give you that we started in 2015 with a vision to help our client in building their dreams. So we help them with technology, with UX part. These were the key areas that we focused initially. And we have served more than 1,500 clients all over the globe. So currently, if I talk about the biggest brand in India that everyone of us know, have been KPMG, Vodafone, Hero FinCorp, Vodafone, these are still running clients. Apart from them, globally we have served KFC, Americana, NCR is one of our initial clients, and NCR is a very famous brand. Definitely, most of us would be knowing in them. So the ATM machine that we generally operate is being managed by them. the overall backend thing is driven by NCRT. So Chirag here, he was heading that project when we started way back in 2018, the NCR engagement. So overall, in terms of growth perspective, we see, so we started in 2015 and as of today, the total numbers of employees we are currently having is more than 2,000. And in terms of numbers, more than 70% of the clients that we are currently having are repeat clients. That is something that we are very proud of because once a client comes to us, we try to make sure that he keep on working with us for a longer duration. In terms of funding or so these are some of the numbers that we are proud of. Like I mentioned, 72% of our clients are return clients. That we started with them, they came to us. Now we are working from a very long time. 650 million is the funding that the product that we have built so far has received funding. The, we have 6 branch in India. Apart from India, we recently incorporated our office in Canada and UAE. The next is in Australia that we are planning in a couple of months. So this is the growth index of number of headcounts that we have over the years. So these are the clients that we have served so far around the globe. So if I talk about the US, so JobGet and NCR, these are our biggest clients. JobGet not only got the funding, they have been recognized by MIT and other institutes as well. In Middle East, we are mainly focusing upon the food sector. So there we have Pizza Hut, Americana, KFC. These are the clients that we are serving in Middle East. Australia, we don't have very big database of clients there, but Locksmart and Wardrobe, these are the two major clients. And we are currently working with them. From past 3-4 years, we have been serving them. In India, these are the brands that we have worked so far. And apart from them, there are a couple of other brands that we have recently added. Among them, there are Hero Pencom, Bajaj Finserv, Yuvraj Singh's new startup that we have recently started working with. So we were recognized as an app development company of the year in 2020. So these are some of the rewards and recognition that the product that we built over the years have received from different agencies. So JobGet, Airtel, IKEA, they have all received different awards, and these awards are mentioned here. So in terms of capabilities, what are our core expertise, on which platform we generally work on, what all new age technologies we have experienced so far. I would like to ask Chirag to give a brief about the same.
Thank you, Beauty. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As Piyush explained that we started somewhere around 2014 as a digital transformation company specializing majorly on the mobile application development and web application development side of it. However, the management always was a visionary when it came to practices or services that we would cater to in the future. That is one of the reasons we did not get restricted to just building mobile applications or web applications. Rather, we work across most of the domains on the technical side of it. Right from the ideation side of it, of any application, data web or a web application, to end-to-end deployment, data analytics, deployment, or be it with respect to DevOps solutions. These are basically all the services which currently exist on the SDLC for web and mobile app solutions. That in where we came up with introducing blockchain into the company as one of the services. We started working on blockchain when blockchain was not not that good, or Web3 was not mainstream. When even Web3, the term was not coined. It just used to exist one of the transactional partner for cryptocurrencies, which was Coinbase. We started working on one of the applications in 2015, wherein we just integrated Coinbase for transactions that would happen. But we never looked back from there. We always knew that the technology had the potential, and we should be taking it up. And after the 2016 bubble, as we all know, when it was, I think everyone came to know about what Bitcoin is, what blockchain is, and every company started to figure it out. That is when we started to deep dive into it. We started building our capabilities around it. One thing which we were very sure right from the very first day was we would be working majorly on solving problems which are complex. We do not want to do anything which is fancy just for the namesake of doing. That is why you will not find us showcasing our portfolios around any of the ICOs or IUs because we refrain from doing all that work. We rather are proudly partners with most of the decentralized finance-based exchanges or be it the decentralized autonomous organizations. So we prefer working on the core competency side of it rather than just the fancy side of it. That is how we initiated our blockchain development world with, and currently we work across public blockchains, permission networks of both the nature, be it a form of a public blockchain or be it Hyperledger Fabric and its counterpart. And apart from public blockchains and private blockchains, we also work on the custom solutions which are basically kind of tools for blockchain, like the non-custodial wallet side of it, or be it the cryptocurrency exchanges side of it, explorer side of it. So we do work on all the currently available development toolsets or technologies in the Web3 space. We have worked on non-custodial wallet solutions, which have been proprietary designed by us. We work with some of the centralized solutions for cryptocurrency payments. We have worked on social media applications. We have worked on ride-hailing applications, and the list goes on and on. The whole and sole purpose of letting you all know is that Agrivative has been one of the pioneers for the blockchain technology in the North region. However, we have always looked forward to work on the core competencies of the technology so that we can harness the actual utility of the chain rather than just using it for namesake or for marketing side of it. We are firm believers in the principles of decentralization, and that is what we take forward when it comes to our product ideation or development side of it. And that is the vision that the entire team carries out. Moving on, what we are doing next? What we are doing next is basically we started as the inclination move towards layer 2 solutions. We are currently working on a couple of layer 2 solutions. We have partnerships with renowned names of layer 2 like Matic, Polygon, or arbitrary side of it. At the same time, since we have seen an inclination of the market of Web3 space towards metaverse, we have initiated that development as well in our domain. So yeah, we have pretty high hopes with blockchain as a technology and with our team, which holds special expertise working on core components, core protocols, understand blockchain as a technology. That is a vision that we are looking forward to carry. So this is all about App Inventive in a nutshell and how blockchain is one of the strongest pillars at App Inventive when it comes to innovation side of it. So yeah,
Thank you, PA, Piyush and Chirag. Appreciate it. Great overview, and I think this we like this because it's all the time, and there's tea coming out. So this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the company overview. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So, have you guys heard of Metaverse? Anybody? Let's talk about Metaverse, right? Metaverse is something new. It's a part of Web3 again. So let me invite now, and I'm going to invite our next speaker. Um, Arpit is actually managing director at Near Foundation, newly. So congratulations, Arpit, and welcome to the stage here. Talk about Metaverse.
So I said the presentation will it be today? Give me the presentation.
It's with me, but if we need a spare laptop over there. Do you have a laptop with you, sir? No. उसको format करना नहीं है.
Okay, then what we can do is we can kind of make it an interactive section, okay? Anyways, presentations are boring. I don't like giving presentations. Nobody likes listening to presentations, right? But let's start by defining metaverse, right? So what do you think is so first of all, do you think there is a metaverse or there is the metaverse or there are multiple metaverses or what do you think? Even multiple metaverses, okay? Okay. So what do you think is a metaverse? Like, what's the definition of metaverse? We have been hearing this term for a couple of months. Everybody is talking about metaverse. It's their name to meta, right? Just to kind of emphasize on that fact that maybe they are looking at metaverse, right? So what's the definition of metaverse? Anyone wants to take a guess? No, you'll have to do it, man. Like, otherwise I'll do it. Okay, you tell me what's the definition of metaverse? Yes. बताओ यार बताओ क्या है मेटावर्स No, that's a good answer, right? So basically, what metaverse is, it's a virtual extension or a virtual space where you can, exist, have social interactions, transact, create value, talk to people, make friends, a lot of things. Right? So if you, I do not know if anyone of you has seen that. Yeah, I don't know if any you have seen that game called Second Life. It came in 2002. Anybody saw that game? You must have played it. I have played it. So Second Life was, very similar to what he just mentioned. So you will have a digital avatar. You will come to a virtual space, and there will be people from different countries. You will talk to them. You will chat and all of that. So that is also that is a virtual experience. But what is different in that metaverse from the metaverse of today? Right? So that's one question that we will come back to. Second piece is, do you think so? It's a if you look at it, right. So having a digital life, having digital experiences, and a lot of these things, right. So what I feel is that we are already in a primitive metaverse, right. And why do I say that, right? So if you have to get a cab, you will open Uber, you will find the address, then you will book a cab, and then you will follow it virtually where this cab is going, when it is coming to the right. So basically, while you are in this physical space, through that window of Uber, you are interacting with a digital space, right? Uh, just try to imagine that, right? So when you are looking at Facebook or Instagram, while you are sitting in your bed, uh, when you are expected to be sleeping, you are looking at those things. So basically, what is happening? You are through that small window, through that 6-inch window, you are facing a digital world where you are not actually present, but you are looking at a piece of that. Okay? So you are already there. You are already there. So we already are part of what I call a primitive metaverse. Okay. So that's one. So first of all, it is not something which has just come. Right? ये कुछ ऐसा चीज नहीं है जो अभी अवतरित हो गया 6 महीने पहले की मेटावर्स आने लगा. So what is happening is, if you look at it, it's a spectrum. Okay, on one end of the spectrum there is the physical existence, right? So this physical life, right? So that's one end. Then on the extreme end of this is these are digital experiences, right? And what is happening is with metaverse you are moving from more physical to digital with more interactive elements and more immersive experiences being built. Okay, so that is what is happening. So move is happening from this physical world towards more digital, immersive, and interactive experiences. So that is what we mean by metaverse. Now, however, and how many of you have played any video games or computer games in your life? Okay, now at least somebody. Like which game did you play? Okay. You must have played this game called PUBG. PUBG, everybody would have played, right? So, what is PUBG? You and 100 other people who have a lot to do, but they find time to play this game. They come in this virtual world and play, right? And then, anyone of you has seen Decentraland? Decentraland is a okay, you have seen, right? So, what's the difference between Decentraland and something like PUBG? PUBG is a virtual experience. You can wear a VR headset and you can play this, right? So the point that I'm trying to make kind of ties back to the earlier discussion that we were having. What is the difference between virtual experiences like Second Life and the virtual experiences of today, what we are calling metaverse, right? Something for which Facebook changed it. And again, they are saying that they have shut down the metaverse division. That is a different matter. But what's the difference? Right? So the difference lies in the technology stack. Right? So first thing which is very different right now is these metaverses are decentralized metaverses. They are built on decentralized systems, while earlier were centralized systems. What does that mean, right? Before we come to that, right, so all of this is based on a technology called blockchain. How many of you have heard about blockchain? All of you should raise hands because we are in BCrypt, right? Okay. So how many of you has coded or coded a smart contract, interacted in any way with the smart with this blockchain? Okay. What did you do? On Ethereum, okay. So that's good that there is a witness there, right? So what is happening is from a server client architecture, things are moving more towards peer-to-peer architecture, right? In blockchain. So that's happening, and what implication that has for virtual worlds is that while earlier a company like Facebook or Twitter, they will hold all the assets in that platform. Those assets will be locked in that platform. Now these assets are actually owned by the users. Okay, and just to make it more real, for example, if in PUBG you buy a gun, which you can buy by spending real cash. It is in PUBG, and tomorrow government of India bans PUBG. Okay, it's gone. Or Craftfund tomorrow says that PUBG, we are doing away with PUBG. It will no longer be available. Your money is gone, your gun is gone. It is useless, pretty much, right? On the other hand, if you buy a digital asset on a decentralized metaverse, you can still there is a possibility that you can trade that collectible on an open marketplace and get your money back, or use that in near future use that collectible in some other metaverse in some other way, right? So basically, you actually or user actually owns that piece of digital asset or digital world in their own wallet or on the blockchain, right? So what the role that blockchain plays here is that of, for example, right now if you own this phone, you don't need a bank to tell anybody that you own this phone. You just own it because you own it, right? So it's similarly in blockchain. What blockchain enables is the real ownership of digital assets. Okay. So this is so I am. Okay, so basically, kind of summing up what I have said, right? So virtual worlds have been existing before. The virtual worlds that we see today are decentralized virtual worlds. They have an additional layer of creation and transaction and kind of trading of digital assets, which was earlier not there. Secondly, we already are part of some kind of a metaverse or very rudimentary form of a metaverse, right? So that's what we discussed, right? We also discussed something about blockchain. So now coming to this, these are some of the arenas where a lot of action is happening in metaverse. Right? So there is a lot of activity around digital currencies, NFTs. So NFTs are what are NFTs? Anybody? Okay. Okay. Anybody knows an ERC 1155? Okay. So that means I cannot just say anything and walk away. I have to be careful. Okay. So basically NFTs, then devices are another area where we are seeing a lot of action. So the virtual devices or head-mounted devices as they call HMDs. So a lot of action is happening in HMDs where people are trying to make them more ergonomic, reduce their weights, reduce their price so that everybody can use them. Then social media, there are a lot of platforms which are kind of trying to even supersede what Twitter is doing, for example, Lenster and all these recent social media platforms. Then we have a lot of gaming. Then we have a lot of gaming activity because at the end of the day, in metaverse, a big part of metaverse is the user interaction, right? And a lot of user interaction happens through the medium of games. Then workplace, so there is a whole offering that came out with for meetings and all of that. Infrastructure, of course, and AI assistance. So I will speak about AI assistance in a minute. So we saw that there was a game called Second Life, and then there is a game called Decent Land. What is the difference between them? We saw that. So actually, yeah. So basically, there are three pieces of tech stack which are critical for any metaverse today, which we see. Specifically, decentralized metaverses. People who will talk about virtual experiences. I am specifically referring to decentralized ones. So blockchain backbone, which will allow for ownership of those digital assets. Then virtual reality and augmented reality headsets and all the technologies related with that, which will allow you to seamlessly experience or move from physical to that digital world. And then artificial intelligence. So what happens is that if anyone of you has seen Decentraland, so there is so much to consume in Decentraland that it is very easy to get bored. You go there, you go from this street to there, and then you come out. Okay. Go and check out the marketplace. So this is very costly, and then you come out. So there is no way you can meaningfully consume, and that's just one metaverse, right? So imagine when there will be 100, 150, 200 metaverses, like it may become like websites of tomorrow. Like this will become the primary way that it will, right? So when that happens, you would need an AI assistant to meaningfully navigate all of these metaverses, which will learn possibly from the patterns from your consumption patterns, from your browsing patterns, and then create a structure that is more meaningful to you. This we already discussed. Again, very crisply, Web 2 versus Web 3. Organization-wise, they are centrally owned. These are decently owned. Then we are owned by community, let's say, owned by DAOs. In digital assets, the digital assets in Web 2 are leased within the platform, while here assets are owned by the platform. And the most important thing is revenue. What happens in your traditional central platforms? Chunk of the revenue is kept by that company, which is kind of and only a creators in any, right? While in decentral worlds, it is extremely opposite of that. Here, for example, if a creator creates an NFT, they can keep earning the royalties from that in perpetuity in a lot of models. Right? So, in terms of building blocks, right? So, and I think I have forgot to put reference here. This is a diagram that I took from one of the reports and related to. So basically, if you look at functional layers, right? So there is the infra, there is this hardware infra, then software backend. Then we have primitives, right? So primitives are something like rules of physics for our world, right? So these are primitives. For example, how are you going to define identity? What are the mechanics? How will people interact with each other? What kind of programmability is there? And then you have all the assets. In assets, you can have physical assets and digital assets, economic assets and content. Then of course, end user software and hardware. So if you have to look at it from functional architecture point of view, you can kind of look at this and see what action is happening in different layers. So what do you think? Is it, and again, very candid opinions. Do you think it's a fad, or do you think it is going to change the way we look at the world? Anyone? Okay. So let's say okay. So let's say so there are two clear opinions, right? A lot of people are saying that this something which is passing a fad, and it will not be there in some time. But if you look at some of the statistics, right? $54 billion have are spent annually on virtual goods, which is even more than the money spent on music. That means something. If you go and ask some kid who is playing on Roblox, they will tell you how important it is to own those digital assets, right? What do you think? Does it make sense to own an NFT or spend, let's say, 2 lakh rupees on owning an NFT? Do you think it makes sense? So there are a lot of ways of looking at it. Right? So if you take frameworks of try to just extrapolate them, it may not make sense. You may feel that why do we need to do this? What is the utility of this, etc. But we have to understand that there is a Web3 native generation which is coming up, right? And it makes sense to that. So that's why you see those numbers, right? If you look at messages sent daily on Roblox, 60 billion messages are sent daily on Roblox, right? And this is just one thing. If you go and kind of introspect life, how much time do you spend on Instagram, how much time do you spend on WhatsApp, on Telegram, you will realize that you are spending easily, over 3-4 hours on your devices and different digital platforms. So that's something which you are already doing. So point here is that there is huge business opportunity to kind of leverage all of these things and create impactful business models. Like how do we do that, right? So and why should companies even start looking at metaverse experiences, right? So what are the rationales for that? So first thing is user engagement. A lot of brands, for example, let's say beer brands. Okay. How many of you love beer? School man, like this is not a school man. You can tell if you love beer or not, right? So in beer,
Nobody's watching you guys. Nobody's. I love beer.
yeah, the problem with the beer segment is that there is no strong like that brand stickiness is not there, right? So you will go to the shop and you will just say, okay, we have a Kingfisher or Budweiser. So there are no very not very definitive tastes there for a lot of people, right? So these brands are easily switchable, right? And a lot of times their tastes are also same, right? So for example, and I know of a beer company which is creating a metaverse experience to improve that customer engagement. Now, let's say you drink a Kingfisher beer, right? And the more you drink, then you have an NFT which keeps on growing in the experience, and then you start getting access to some metaverse launch where you can go and meet other Kingfisher fans. Okay? It is something which was not existing, and it kind of adds to that brand stickiness. Right? So that's what people are doing. Then consumer experience in case of a lot of and today, right, so a lot of folks already you prefer buying from your Amazon app, etc. It is very tedious to go and actually find stuff in physical stores, right? So what is happening on high end goods side, right, really expensive goods also, is that the first experience people can take in these immersive worlds. Then, of course, new virtual products are coming up. Hardware applications are there. Right? You can get a lot more data by just seeing how people are interacting with these metaverses. So these are some of the opportunities that I feel are there in the short term itself, right? So entertainment and e-commerce, right? So in India, one of the largest retail outlets they are working on an e-commerce platform. A couple of months back, an Indian startup called NFT they launched a e-com focused metaverse, which was called Commerce. Right? So e-commerce focused metaverse is already happening. So what happens there is you have this virtual experience and you have payment rails, etc., all integrated there, lead generation and all of that can happen within that platform itself. Entertainment, Travis Scott, who has like any of you heard about the Travis Scott concert that happened in the metaverse? Okay, okay, so yeah, so it happened. It was a pretty big deal, and a lot of other stars are doing that. A lot of entertainment shows etc. are happening in metaverse. Then on hardware, as I mentioned, so hardware is a huge opportunity right now. So if you look at Oculus 2, right? So Oculus 2 is what, like I may be wrong, but let's say 40,000 rupees if you go and buy, right? So and it's very heavy device, right? So it is that moment in life when the budget phones came when it was Android. So Android came and then budget phones came, and when the budget phone came, everybody had an Android immediately, and then the mass adoption happened. So what will happen, like what I think is that these devices will not be personal devices as phones, but these will be devices, let's say, owned by a family. And there can be two devices in a family, but the cost need to go down. And there are companies which are building these headsets which cost less than 5,000 rupees in India, which is going to happen. Once that happens, it is again going to be a breakthrough movement. Software, of course, like in software, you can create n number of applications. You can create NFT marketplaces. You can create gaming experiences. You can create a lot of other interactive stuff. That goes without saying. So I think I will just pause here and I will ask you, right? So and this you will have to answer somewhere, okay? Uh, what do you think future is going to be? Because we have seen this, we have seen many movies which kind of paint this picture of virtual future and all, and we have seen all of that, right? So what do you think future is going to be? This is open questions. You can say anything. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is acceptable. Everything is acceptable.
Basically, it was a very evolution. Like internet was there some years back. It was more so people didn't believe it. But gradually they started believing in it. In the same way, blockchain also is very easy to get it done with this time. But eventually it will evolve and everyone will start using it. So it is the future.
So I think that's a very interesting point, and that's something that I also keep on thinking, right? So this is like being born in 1980s when internet was being built. Okay? I was always in that sad state that we missed that first revolution. And again, here it is, right? So this is being built. There are a lot of places. I'm not saying everything is right. So there are a lot of things which will improve. It is something which is being built up. But yes, uh, I also feel that internet is going to be changed forever. The way we consume information, the way we consume entertainment is going to be very different than what we do now. It has changed like very rapidly. If you look at just last 3 years, we have completely moved from going to these theaters to completely binging on Netflix, and we now prefer doing that. Right? So that's how kind of things change if people start consuming information in different ways. Right? So that will happen very naturally. These are two things, right? So identity is going to be I'll just pick on identity and AI systems, right? So identity is going to be a piece which is going to be very interesting, right? So if you are a builder, if you are building something, you should definitely go and explore what identity, what are the problems with identity that you are facing in Web3 right now and try to solve for them. For example, right, today in your Web2 world, what is your identity? Your identity is your Google ID, your Gmail ID, or email ID. Can there, like, I feel that is not very intelligent, right? To put it very kindly. It's just very flimsy, right? So it's an email ID, and your email ID is representing you online, and it is available to everybody. All your data is available to everybody, right? So it's a very, and we have kind of got accustomed to this, and that's why we feel that it is alright, but it is not alright. It's a very, very flimsy ground to stand on. So just if you want to look at something, go and check what is SSID, self-sovereign identity, and you will see what actually is happening there. AI assistants, as I mentioned, right? So these AI assistants will be like, so you all of you have played one or the other game, right? So whenever you enter a game, you kind of spawn at a place where you have all your collectibles, where you have your costumes, etc. From there, you go and enter the game, right? So this is your headquarters, right? So similarly with the AI assistants, you will be able to create a customized space within these different metaverses and then navigate effortlessly. So that's what's going to happen. So this is what I wanted to share with you. If we have some time, I'm happy to take questions. Yeah. But a lot of times I will not give any answer because you didn't give me any answers. So I'm sorry for that. But yeah, happy to take any questions. I would say in the short term we are not be there, but AI is going to have a bigger play if I look at it from a long term. Because I think AR kind of is more seamless when it comes to interacting with the physical world. So I think from a utility point of view, AR is going to be more prevalent than VR. VR kind of cuts you off, while AR blends you in the physical and the digital space.
Thank you, Arpit. Awesome. Great. I know the sessions after lunch are pretty not interactive. I know how much food you ate, guys, today. Yeah, everybody's falling asleep here. Come on, wake up. So there are actually few points very important here. I will just talk about metaverse, right? Metaverse. I'm going to ask my question differently. How many of you use Facebook every day? Use Facebook every day. Uh, Instagram, any social media app. Everybody these days creates some kind of content every day, multiple times a day. Agree? You agree with that? Do you get paid for it? Imagine there's going to be a next social media app where every time you contribute, you are going to get paid. You think that's a great idea? Yes? Welcome to Metaverse and Web3. That's what Web3 is all about. So this is exactly the next topic. That's why I don't have a jacket. I'm a speaker now, by the way. I'm inviting myself. So why Web3 and what is Web3? So that's a good question because looks like you guys are all Web2. When somebody asks you who are you, say I'm a Web2. You're not a Web3. That's a good, actually, this is a good, because this is good for you to learn here. So, as I think Arpit mentioned, he was born, he's a millennial, he born in 1980s. You guys are millennials, right? Most of you are, I think all of you are. I don't see any Gen Z here. But my son, he's a Gen Z or younger, right? So I'm a millennial, I just skipped, so I'm a Gen X. So most of you guys are millennials. If you don't know what these are, go and search generations, right? You look at generations, there are different generations. And every 15 years or so, there is a new generation. When that generation comes, so the major shift in technology. And we are now at the curve, we are at the time where it's going to switch from Web 2 to Web 3. So when I started learning programming, I started working, the first web was we could create web pages only. There was a simple web page in HTML with some images. And then I could share that with other people. That was the internet. That's it. Okay? In the region it was started, people do research work, they were writing, they were sharing with other people. Then that was 1989. From 1989 to 2005, web evolved. There were more web, changes. You could upload video, you could upload other things, share more, blah blah. But 2005 was when Web 2 started. Web 2, well, Web 1 was just read only, you just can read. Web 2 is read and write. So in Web 2, not only you could read and share, but now you can also write and contribute. Okay, you can write blogs, you can share them, people can post comments, they can involve. And then few years later, the social media, Facebook, and before Facebook, MySpace happened, and Facebook happened, and so on. So hence came the social media. Social media is still a web 2.0, but we call it social web. What is social web? Today, what you guys are doing, what you are in, this is a social web. Okay, this is end of social web, starting of web 3.0. In social web, what we do, we all become contributors, right? We are all contributors. We contribute, share, we get happy. And then Facebook, what they did is they gave us a drug. What is that drug? Anybody knows? Anybody knows what Facebook gave us? Like, right? So research happened that like does same effect on your brain what any drug would do, like heroin would do. So now, how many times you guys check your likes? Well, good thing is you are still millennials, okay? Millennials are, you guys are millennials, so you are okay sitting here without checking your likes. But if I call my son in my classroom, he will reply me right away while he's in the classroom. So they actually live with phones. You guys are don't. And I still think India is still better when it comes to technologies, that they don't really worry too much. They don't, but in US, if you go, every kid where my son is, they don't leave their phones alone. Every time they're stuck to the phone. Okay? So this web technologies, some is for you guys, some is for us, because we are going to convert some businesses into Web 2 to Web 3. But web, these guys, the next generation, they live on Web 3. They are going to live on Web 3. And why? Let me tell you why. We are okay, we are just okay in views and likes, we are happy and jumping, oh, I got 1,000 views, oh, I'm in likes, right? There's a fight going on, and these are influencers and so on and so forth. They're all, I got millions. We have one of the biggest influencers here in this room here. Pushpender, come on. Guys, he flew all over from, he's going to talk, we're going to invite him to the panel, next panel. But, so, this generation, wow, I'm talking about next generation, this generation, Gen Z, they don't believe in likes and views. They're like, hey, first of all, I don't want my life to be public. Like you guys are okay, we Malaysians are okay, okay? Put everything on my internet, I'm fine. Oh look, I'm dancing. Oh look, I'm traveling. Oh look this, right? But next generation, they say we don't want them. That's why they are more on private social media. They're not on Facebook. They're on, sure they're on Instagram, but they don't post everything on Instagram. but they will be on Snapchat, they will be on other those private, right? They also say we don't care about likes unless you give us something, unless you pay us. That makes sense, guys? Right? So this next generation says, we don't care of likes, but if you pay us, we are part of your economy. If you're making money, you give us a little bit, then we can share. So that is what we are building this Web3. What Arpit just talked about, and you're going to have other sessions coming time. Web3 is when you are building something, you are creating something, you are contributing something, even you're reading, you are part of that economy, and you should be getting paid for that. And you start owning a little piece of that. So imagine you work in a company, and you work in a big company, let's say Microsoft and all that. When you start, working in that company, they issue something called stocks. And you guys know what stocks? So every year or every month, you get a little bit of stock in the company. So somebody who has been working for 20 years, they'll have a lot of stocks. When they retire, their stocks may end up in a lot of money. Okay? How many of you are on C Sharp Corner? Raise your hands. Almost. That's great. So a lot of you guys are from C Sharp Corner. So you're writing articles. How many of you write articles? Good. Awesome. How many of you like, share? Or most of you, right? That's a Web 2.0. You are doing all the work, but you're not getting paid for it. But guess what we are doing? We are converting Web 2 to Web 3. We are going to convert C Sharp from Web 2 to Web 3, where anything you do, you are going to start earning something. That earning something will turn into something tangible. Tangible, you can earn this token, and the token you can spend on some things. Okay? You're writing an article, you're going to get 1,000 tokens. Those tokens you can spend on training, you can hire somebody to mentor you, you can get certified, you can look for a better job, or you can sell them and get money out. Maybe we will offer ice cream too. Make sense? So there is a session coming up from Windows. He's going to talk about how to migrate Web 2 to Web 3. So this is a perfect audience for you. They're all Web 2. Now they want the tokens. So now they want to learn how to migrate to Web 3. You guys agree with me now? So when Arpit talk about metaverse, what happens in metaverse? A lot of these kids, again, not you guys, next generation, they play a lot of video games. When they play video games, they earn points. But you can't do anything with those points except you got ranking and higher and unlock prizes. But in the metaverse, in the next world, you will start earning these tokens, and those tokens will worth more to you. Does that make you interesting jumping into a little bit of Web3? Yes? Any questions so far? Let's take a few questions. How are you doing time-wise? I can't even know how much time. Any questions on this? So I'll finish my talk about yes. From what? Dark web? Well, you're asking me how you're asking me how paratha is different than pen. You can't compare them, right? They're two different. That's a Web 2. Yeah, you can make money on Web 2, that's fine. But the Web 3, that's a good point. That's really. In Web 3, what happens when you create a new system, okay? When you create a new project or new company, you say, oh, there are 10 million tokens we are creating, okay? So that's whole number. That number now can be distributed to people who are working in that project or company or whatever they're doing, right? So they may say, oh, C Sharp Corner, for example, right? We have 10,000 tokens. So everybody writes an article will get one token, okay? So if you wrote 1,000 articles, you get 1,000 tokens. Now, 1,000 tokens, you can do whatever with them, Dark web is just a consulting. You just do some work, you get paid. That's like you're already doing. That makes sense? Other big difference in Web3 is that the whole thing in most cases are public, and it's also think of like a democracy. Means it's run by the community. They call it DAO, decentralized, right? So DAO is a group of people from that project. There's nobody owner in Web3. Remember, Web3 is not a traditional company. Web3, most of them are open source projects, and they are open to everybody. You can see everything public, but the decisions are made by the people who are contributing. So if you contribute more, you have more authority to make decisions. So in future, on C# corner, if you are an MVP, if you are a VIP level member, you contribute more, you're gonna get more and more power within the community. That makes sense? So it will not be my decision. So if you want to launch a new feature, for example, you can say, oh, I want a new feature on C# corner. You post that. Every member can vote on that. And when more members vote and we say, let's take this feature now to buy DAO passes that, DAO will make a voting process decide that, then you approve, then it gets built. It will not be a decision of one person. So that's the difference between centralized and decentralized. Today's world is all centralized. What does that mean? Anybody knows? What does centralized mean? She knows all the answers, all questions, she knows all the answers.
If you let's say in another case, so it is centralized because all our data is within let's say web. They can do whatever they want to do.
Yes.
So that's completely centralized. And decentralized means everybody can see your data, but nobody can disturb you.
Yes.
Nobody can change it.
So thank you. So another big piece of Web3 is you may say, why are we building Web3? We already have, we can build website today, right? You can build website today, you can do everything, you can build all kinds of systems. Why do Web3? So I ask you a question about, you have the latest Android phone, Galaxy S, whatever. So every year there's a new upgrade comes in there, and it comes with more features and so on and so forth. So think of this as the same thing with the web. Web 1 has something, Web 2 this is Web 3. But in Web 3, one of the biggest difference is centralized versus decentralized. Today, everything is centralized. Means there is a company, Facebook is a company. In company, all the decisions are made by the Facebook CEO and the board, not the people who are contributing, not by you, not by me. If Facebook wants to charge you a piece for checkbox, Twitter just announced that you want to charge $7 per month for checkbox, right? Elon Musk there is like, I'm going to make a decision because we need to make more money. That's called centralized decision. That's number one. They also have all your data, right? So anything you do, they store that on their servers. So imagine I'm a DBA, I'm working for Twitter, I'm accessing database, I'm checking what this guy is doing, okay? And if I'm pissed, Elon Musk fired me, guess what? I'm going to delete some data, I'm going to take some with me, and I'm going to disappear in my village. Go ahead, find me. Yesterday I read a news, day before yesterday, that 66 crore Indians' data is being sold on dark web. They just found in Faridabad, next to my sector. They found 10 people, right? This will never happen in decentralized. Hence, because it uses a blockchain technology. That's another big topic. I'm not going to talk about that. That's why you want to go home and do research, your own research here. I can only give you pointers. You have to do your own work, right? So that makes sense? So centralized versus decentralized. So all the decisions in centralized worlds are made by these certain people, and whose interest is to make more money from your data. Okay? They want you to be, they build these algorithms where you want to just put on the phone all the time. Let me check who likes, how many people scroll that. No, there's no likes, don't scroll, stop. If likes will come, they will come. Stop scrolling that, right? So that's what other problem with Web 3, Web 2 and decentralized world is that there's can be a lot of corruption. That's why Bitcoin actually started to solve the corruption, because these Wall Street and investors They were manipulating financial systems. They were showing fake numbers. So what is that? Who is the richest guy in India? They're just saying they created 20, 30, 50, 100 companies. Adani Group or whatever I read in there. So they're saying they have 200 companies created, blah, blah. This will never happen in Web3. So Web3 is actually trying to solve three major problems. Number one, trust. It's trying to build the trust between people. Transparency is going to show you transparency because all the data is stored on public blockchains. Anybody can go and access that. Okay, transparency and security. So data is secure. It's not from the day one. It's all encrypted. It uses cryptography, and hence we call our conference BCrypt. It's from cryptography. So you gotta be BCrypt now. You gotta secret. Okay. So and then it also has accountability. So you have audit and so forth. So with that, I will end my talk today. Can you see screen here, Simon, please? And then we have a short break. And after that, we have an amazing panel on how many of you have invested in cryptocurrencies or looking to invest or interested. Perfect. So we have a next panel where they are going to talk about how to not get scammed when you're interested in cryptocurrency in this Web3. That's very interesting panel. After that, we have a panel where we know this is going to talk about how to migrate from Web2 to Web3. And if I can see, it's loading. Awesome. Huh? Oh. And then we have a panel on decentralized finance. And then our last panel is engaging on vibrations and consciousness and how to use sound therapy to be happy if you are stressed out with your so much coding and development or life in general. So yeah, a lot of amazing things, guys. If you have questions, get your questions ready. While we are taking break, if you have any general questions, we'll continue our questions for next 5 minutes. And I think, nice. She's getting ready. Thank you. I think we covered it. Yeah. All right, guys. This is a break. If you have questions, you can ask questions. But I think there is tea, coffee. Go ahead, grab one and come back here. But we can. If anybody has questions so far. People who ask questions also get prizes. You know that? Yes.
Hello. Sir, as you said that in Web3, we own the data. We have the ownership of our data.
Yeah.
So let's take an example like I write an article on GitHub.
Yes.
So like in Web3, I give the ownership to that, like I sold that article to you. Like in Web3, we have the ownership. So like I put on my data on sale. So the company who is getting that content will pay you like one time, or it depends on views or how many times.
That's a great question. So when you contribute on C# corner Web 3.0, not now, Web 3.0, right now you get points. Right now you already get points. What we are going to do is points are going to convert into token. And token is worth something. Token is worth, I don't know, some say $0.005. Each
So one
token.
more question. Like if you want to revert that, I want get my data back. So can I do that in Web3?
So let's think about this. Data back, no. So that's a good question. So in Web3, let's not, this is not a Web, this is more about blockchain. This question is data on Web3 mostly store some data on blockchain and some on is centralized, like the way you told you today. You have, depending on how you build your system. So once let's say your data is stored on blockchain, once it's written there, it's there. Nobody can delete that. But you don't put your all files there. You only put a small amount of data that shows you. For example, it will say oh, you published that article. So it will be there will be a proof that this person published this article. Anybody can go see that. If somebody wants to go and claim why is he getting 1,000 points? Well, because look at this. He published contributed this article. That makes sense? So this is a more blockchain discussion, it's a long discussion. And I have many sessions on that. So if you want to come in that session, then we will.
Okay, we definitely have
More questions? Any more questions, guys? Yes.
So, how can prevent harassment and abuse in Web3 because it,
Um, yeah. Pushpen, where is Pushpen? I'm gonna ask you to be on panel. Okay, this panel is Mr. Viray. Yes. 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 Lalit is on this panel. We don't have any. I will be moderator. Okay. Did you ever get scammed in crypto? Did you ever get scammed in crypto? All right. You want to get on the panel? Okay. When panel start, yes. All right. I'll be the moderator.
अच्छा अच्छा यूट्यूब फेसबुक ट्विटर ट्विच लेंगे सही बात है नहीं नहीं चल रहा है यूट्यूब पर नहीं है जापान से अपन लोगों हाँ टी ब्रेक लिख दूंगा सेक्टर 59 को थ्रू ठीक है लगा दो
I think let's start getting back. Get our panelists here. We need to run on US time, not Indian time, guys. So, here. Okay. Spin. Good afternoon. Everybody's awake after the tea, huh? Was it good? All right. Did you guys learn something? Anything so far? Who did you guys learn anything so far? You think this is fun? All right. Anybody who wants to invest in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin? You can raise your hand. You don't have to start. There's no government here. There's no tax police here. So great. Anybody knows how much is a Bitcoin now? One Bitcoin? It's 27,000, maybe 28, somewhere there. All right. So this panel is great. I have great people, great group of people here on this panel. They all have been in cryptocurrency, crypto investment in the industry for a while. They have made a lot of money. I don't know how much money they have, but one time I went to one of these guys' house, and it was full with money. So, if you want to learn, you have some questions you want to ask them, this is your chance, okay? And any kind of question, what in your mind about investment, risk, rewards, what are the frauds? There's so much frauds going on. This is your time to ask those questions. So I'll start with maybe our panelists, maybe start introducing yourself. And then I have some questions, and then I'm going to open up questions to the floor.
हेलो एवरीवन चाय पी ली यार कैसे हो क्रिप्टो वेब3 ब्लॉकचेन या नॉर्मल सब कुछ so I'm Lalit Bansal, founder of Rev Infotech Private Limited and EIS Systems Private Limited. So we have been into this software development business since 2007 and developed multiple projects in terms of e-commerce and definitely blockchain. So I started investing in crypto like you all must be willing to in 2014. And thereafter we started with development in 2016. So we have developed multiple centralized, decentralized solutions, NFT, MetaVerse, gaming, and Echo solutions. I have been advising quite a few projects and into the space actively going abroad for all these conferences since 2018. And we have a team of 125 people. For this panel, whatever regarding Web3, blockchain, crypto, I'll try to answer every question that you have. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Pushpin. So first of all, I would like to tell about like how I started crypto journey. So in 2015, I was doing digital marketing. So I was doing digital marketing only for India. Then I tried to contact some international client, and there was some issue related to payment. So then in the chat, someone asked, "Can you accept payment in Bitcoin?" I said, "What is the Bitcoin?" I thought, okay, better to accept some international client. It will build my portfolio. So I said, okay, I can accept payment in Bitcoin. So that time I was not aware about the Bitcoin much, but I said, okay, I will make interesting time. So better, let's try to understand this. So I did some study, just basic only, and then I made online account, and after that I gave address, and he has deposited that time some money, and I started like a digital marketing job. And after some time, like a 6 months, 8 months, I heard okay, Bitcoin has some value and you can sell it. Then I checked, I tried to recover my wallet, and then I somehow I realized in decentralized world, like a crypto world, digital world, you cannot recover your password. So I said, why I cannot recover? Because in Yahoo ID, I can easily click on forget password, just put email ID, or just I can give security questions answer and easily I can recover. Then I study what is this decentralization, what is the centralization, and what's the difference between that, and understand that that time I study Bitcoin white paper. So I came to net, came to know decentralized is different thing, and it's very different to centralized. And here is no owner, and we don't know also in, for example, in bank, if you forget your password or you forget like anything, then you can contact the bank. But in Bitcoin case, you cannot contact anyone. And if one time your password is compromised, one time your security is compromised, you lost everything. So that time I studied Bitcoin and I lost everything that time. Then I start in same time YouTube channel to aware about crypto, blockchain, this one mine, crypto mining. So in 2017, I started crypto mining. So that mining videos, I think get like a 300K plus views. So mostly, person started that time crypto mining in Delhi, NCR, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and I sold out a lot of mining. In 2018, I came in, I started investment in like in new projects, ICO, and that time I got also one time scam. So after that, whatever like my past experience, based on that I started a YouTube channel and made some videos in Hindi, not on English because English lot of channels already there. So my like a primary language is Hindi, and on Twitter, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram. So there I'm doing all the crypto awareness things. So that's how my journey started. So today I have around 1 million following in all over social media accounts. And once I lost everything, then after that I started continue learning, and that's why I always say like in Web3 world also, if you are new in Web3 world, then start learning. One time you will get success definitely. If you are new in any field, just try to understand that technology, and if you will be a first mover, then definitely you will get advantage. Because in 2019, one of the top world exchange finance contact me. Okay, you are a very good influencer in India. You want to contact me. You want to do certain bitcoins. So that time I got a lot of good opportunity because of early mover. And today I am also in CISA corner and first time also attending this one crypto banner discussion. So this is how my journey started.
So before introducing myself, I want to ask you how much Bitcoin you lost in that war.
Around 3 days. And, I don't want to remember that point. That right now. And that was a sad journey. But somehow I started crypto mining. If you will search the space in crypto mining, you will get like in that time I was making mining video on my room. And that time I made a lot of money.
So, blockchain is encrypted. There's no answers.
So hello guys, my name is Vivek Sharma. I am the founder of Change the 66 Games and Kahoot influence marketing platform. So in 2016, we started this game development company. At that time, everything was Web 2. We were creating games, we were creating multiplayer games, and after some time, Web 3 gaming, blockchain gaming. So those multiplayer games got converted into metaverse. So, and that's how we started our blockchain gaming journey. After that, we got into the NFT space, metaverse space. With help of Lalit sir, we landed a client Shiba Inu. We created NFTs for those guys, and we got funded from Stratus at a point for one blockchain project. So yeah, that has been my journey, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Awesome, awesome. So we have a great group. As you can see, there's different experiences, and they started from beginning. And I've been working with all of these guys, three guys for a while. So I'll start my questions first. I'm first. Okay, you guys later. So if you have any questions, get your questions ready. By the way. So Lalit, I want to start with you. Um, if you have to advise, let's say one of these guys and girls here have, say, I don't know, 10,000 rupees or 1,000 rupees, and they want to get into crypto, how they should start, and what is their, all you can have a brief answer in a minute or so, what they should be first thinking and looking for, so they don't lose their money, like Pushpender did, who lost his Bitcoin.
The first thing I would say that don't go by my words. Right? This is the best. This is the best not to lose the money because this crypto industry, like we are talking, blockchain is very good because it is a technology. Cryptocurrency is their digital asset. And the worst thing for this digital asset is that this is a 24 by 7 market. You will be sleeping, you don't know whether your 10,000 rupees is 100,000 or it is 1 rupee. Right? So
Very risky.
very 200% risky, I would say. So getting started is like whatever project you have. First of all, go by the live projects. Do your own due diligence. And the first thing that you should cater is don't invest any amount in a single asset. It should be multiple. Because there are cases that you will be losing in some cases and you could be billionaire in other. Right? So always split your portfolio. Don't keep it in a single instance. And this is the first thing. You have to do your due diligence. Don't go by words. I would say that, maybe I have some wrong data, but whatever I have seen, in past 1.5 years, can you just give me a numbers that how many more digital currencies have come up? Any ideas? Any number? Pardon? Okay. Okay. Anyone more? So I'll go by his numbers, but I'll just add K in front of 200. Right? So it's that more than 200,000 new currencies have developed.
So yeah, and that's a great question, right? So you have to make sure that you learn a lot. First of all, and that's I take from that, and then ask somebody who's already invested in that. So let me move to Pushpen now. And Pushpen, you go to his YouTube channel. He's always teaching people how to invest, what to invest. But he does a lot of research. So can you tell me a little bit about if they have to do a research about a new token they have not heard of, what should they be looking for?
Okay. So how many of you are following me on Twitter, Insta, YouTube?
So this is mostly Web 2 guys, Web 2 guys. Yeah, I think they're all about Web 2 guys.
Still found 5.89. Okay. So basically, if you are investing like anywhere, doesn't matter it's a crypto or a stock, first of all, try to understand that wherever you are investing, what is that thing? Like how does that market is volatile? Who they are like in past or historical data research. Because in crypto market is volatile, very, very, very volatile. It can give a boost like a 200%, 500%, 1000%, or it can go also, it can be also zero. Recently, one coin in Luna, it was top 10 coin. So before doing any investment, first check go to coinmarketcap.com and check their ranking. So in that ranking, you will find like a coin fundamental, like a coin ranking. So after that, try to check what problem that particular coin is resolving. So once you will know about that particular coin, then try to invest and check also their listing. So that coin should be listed on the world top exchange. Not like there are a lot of exchange which offer like a 25 दिन में पैसा डबल 25 दिन और 21 दिन या 21 दिन में पैसा डबल. So don't invest in that kind of coin. So and also there are a lot of MLM kind of Ponzi schemes which offer you some guaranteed return. In crypto there is no guarantee, even no guarantee of also crypto, because crypto is very new asset. Just we are talking about Web3. So Web3 is a new era, right? It's not like a very old, or 10, 12 years ago crypto started. So you have to and invest whatever you can lose. Oh, not like okay, I'm saving my plot, I'm saving my property, or I'm investing it like that. And my friend's money is double, my friend's money is triple because of crypto. Don't invest like that, because what happened in market, your friend invested in some coin, somehow that coin went like 300% up, 400%, you made good money, and after that you are following also same coin. In India, there are like a lot of hype about like meme coins. So meme coins, what happen that fully depend on the market hype, because in my market there is a FOMO. So recently, I think yesterday itself, Elon Musk changed Dogecoin image. Now after Elon Musk changed Twitter logo with replaced with Doge. So after that, now mostly people will come in FOMO and they will buy. But smart investor, what they will do, they will try to exit because you are liquidity of Elon Musk. Because whenever he change anything, before that he has invested already. And whenever you will buy, that time you will exit. And you will stuck on the top. And after that you will say, crypto is bad because I stuck in the top. Because my portfolio is down. So you have not to follow the hype, you have not to follow the FOMO. You have to study proper technical analysis, understand coin fundamental, and as such said, don't invest in one coin. Don't invest in single coin. Try to diversify your portfolio in multiple coins. Let's say you have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we can trust more on Bitcoin side. In altcoin side, only put very little bit amount because altcoin is still, as the name says, alternative coin. So try to focus more on Bitcoin side. And other coin side, you will diversify a little bit portfolio.
Great, great answers. Now, next question. Yeah.
I'll add on to this. Always like Mahesh has said, how you want to invest, right? So the money that you can lose, only invest that much amount of money in crypto. Otherwise, you will start going to medical shops, doctors, right? So your investment will go to doctors.
So next question is from Vivek. So Vivek, you raised some money, some crypto funding from Stratus. If one of these guys wants to, they have their own project and they want to try to raise their own money, can you tell the process a little bit? How does it work? How did you apply and how you got funded?
So we got funded by Stratus under the SDA program, Stratus Development
Accelerator.
So inside that, first of all, the main thing is that, so first I'll do the process. So initially you just raise an idea that I want to present this idea, tell it to the team, and then those guys create a channel for you on their Discord. So over there you can keep telling that this is what we are going to do, this is what we are creating. After that, the strategy team provides you a date when you are going to pitch to the master nodes, and then those guys listens to your idea, then they decide if they want to fund or not. Because the best thing about decentralization is that there is no one guy who is going to fund you. There are 200, 300 master nodes who decides collaboratively, and if one guy who have high authority decides, no, I don't want to do it, but there are 100 guys who decides that we don't care how much power this guy has, we are going to push him down. They take things in hand and they can make it better. So again, in SGA, all those guys decide collaboratively, and if you get 50% plus votes in yes, so you get the fund straight off in your strategy account.
And
So,
there is no bank involved.
there is no bank involved. You get literally at the moment you hit the yes, in after 15-20 minutes you have the funds in your strategy wallet.
And then you're rich.
Yes. So, few things I would like to suggest if you want to make any of these kinds of, you want to get investment from Polygon or Stratus or any of these programs, under any of these programs. So, one, create some credibility first before going to any of such platforms. Because if you say, I am Rahul, I want to do this, if you do not have a name in the market, if you do not have any influencer, if you do not have any network, you are probably not going to get there. But if you have already proven something that I can create things, I have already created things, I have some name in the market, people trust me, then the chances of you getting funded gets a little more increased. So that's all.
Great to answer. Great to answer. Let's take some questions from the audience. If you have any questions, can we start from back? Anybody has questions? Yes.
Hi. So as Mr. Pushpendra said that there is no way to get that password or that identity back. So don't you think that that will be a kind of a drawback for the Web3 world kind of thing? Because we as Web2 people are used to having that forward password thing.
Right now in the Web3 world, that's why actually Web3 world, that is, you can say, that is one of the best property of the blockchain, because you cannot recover it. Like if someone can recover your wallet, then definitely there will not be a use case. So, for example, if you are making a wallet, then you have your private key. That means you are the owner. No one can touch that one. So this is one of the use cases. I think.
Well, in the beginning, I guess you didn't know that private keys. If you have your keys and your, yeah, then you're okay. You
Not your
can,
keys, not your network.
yes.
So I would add on there, this is why blockchain comes into the picture. Even I don't know whether you know or not, all, like you said, you can reset the password, but anyone can hack your email, right? Even Gmails are getting hacked. Not a big deal, right? But these have special characters of keys. Right? If you go by directly creating your wallet, you have especially 56 or 82 characters of private key. Otherwise, if you are using some wallets like MetaMask or hardware wallets, right, they have a set of 16, 18 digit characters that has to be learned, written in sequence. Only if you have that sequence, you are the owner. And the best beauty is even you lost your wallet, but if you have your key, you have everything. Recently, I lost my phone, but my funds were there. But I had separated my keys, so I bought the new phone, all funds were with me. But this doesn't happen in crypto.
Yes. Okay, any more questions, guys? Or, yes.
So I have a question for you. So let's say I want to build some application like your engage. So how to decide which blockchain is good for my project?
Great question.
So, for deciding the best blockchain for your platform, number one, you see, the popularity because that drives traffic to your project. Number one thing. If you are creating a project on some XYZ blockchain and nobody knows about it, so the chances are there will be a lot less users for that blockchain. So the audience reach that you will be having will decrease. Number one thing. Number two is you got your traffic. Number two is that the development, platform provided the ease of the language used for the development that have to be there. Like if you use Ethereum, that's widely popular. That is, the development is not that difficult. You use Stratus. You are a C# developer. You can easily do that. So these are two, three things that you have to take care of. And I guess that's
Yeah, and then I think add to that is each blockchain also has specialized use cases and they're designed for certain purposes. So if there's someone, it's like one fits better for you, then you use that, right? So one more thing I want to add.
one more thing I would like to add on this.
You sure? Go ahead.
So there comes price with each and every call you make to the smart contract on which where you have written your code. So let's say if you do that on Ethereum, the costs are going to be really, really high. If you do that on Avalanche or Stratus, the cost comes way down because their gas fee is very low as compared to Ethereum. So that is also something you have to consider while choosing a blockchain for your project.
That's a great question. Anybody else? Yes.
Hello, sir. So I have a question for you. I have started investing in crypto since it's been 6 or 7 months. So every third day we got news that this crypto is banned by the government and government is going to have a tax on this, government is doing this and this. So on every new day we got a different news from the Indian government especially. So I just want to know what is the taxing system right now if we invest in crypto in India, and if what is the limit if you have traded up to 500 and 400 and 300. So what is the taxing limit right now? And the second thing is that I have invested in Dogecoin, and as you call that today.
Don't worry, I was.
Good question.
So actually, in Dogecoin, for example, in those coins, what happened before the hype, whenever like we detect like a RSI is very high, like a moving averages, and with that particular meme token is often bought up. I do also invest on that one. Whenever Elon Musk tweets, that time I always exit. I never buy after tweet. Well, because there is one term, buy before the news, sell after the news. But what people do, okay, this tweets come now in FOMO, they will buy on the top. So there will be other active liquidity.
I got three or four.
Okay. So now
Time to sell.
so now the second thing is the taxation. So right now Indian government taxation is very complicated, and there is no like a limit kind of thing. If you are making crypto 1,000 rupees, still you have to pay 30% tax, and there will be direct 1% TDS deduction, and TDS you can set off after the like a financial year, but there is like a direct 30% tax. There will be you cannot also set off the losses just like a stock market and other market. So might be after like a 1 or 2 years, government will change this one because right now in G20 meeting already some discussion happened. But right now, very straightforward rule, you have to pay 30%, no like a no progressive income tax like go to 50K, okay, there will not be tax, and after that 3%, 5%, 10%.
The percent on profit or on the output.
So as per rule, right now it's in profit, but in there is also one two condition. You cannot set off your losses with other coin as well. But still, whatever I'm doing right now, whatever the profit is coming based on the time frame. Okay, let's say my profit is 100K, so based on that I'm giving yes. And there are also a lot of shortcuts, but I don't want to discuss that right now.
Yeah, those are not publicly discussed. You have to join his channel, follow him, and then ask them. Alright,
That's
so
what we can discuss further.
this covers our time. This is perfect timing. Awesome answers, panel. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and thank you guys for asking amazing questions. Thank you. You want to move the chairs, guys? Can you help me with that? So our next session is we're going to talk about. You guys going to Web 2 versus Web 3. You guys know now the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, right? Yes? Well, that's a good job. I did. Thank you. Thanks to me. So no. So now actually, I just did some bullshit. Now we are going to bring one expert who's really going to talk about how to migrate from Web 2 to Web 3. So Vinod is going to come help learn that, and maybe we can move the chairs from here. Oh, we keep it? Okay. Next one.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Sorry guys, disclaimer that throughout whatever I speak, I'll try to use examples. That's how I believe that is possible for everybody to understand. Okay. Giving a small background, I'm Vinod. I founded my own company last year, that's Cypher Blockchain. I've been into blockchain space since 2017. The journey started as it starts with everyone, investments. 5 to 6 months into the investment portfolios, like investing 10,000, 50,000 bucks, and then looking onto the portfolios 100 or 150 times a day. So that's how everyone's journey starts with cryptocurrencies. So being into investment space for 5, 6 months, and then slowly, gradually, I understood that rather than rich investments, it's better to develop products. Right? That's where exactly the big chunk of money lies. So I work for some client projects, build L2s, like Layer 2 blockchains. And then last year, when we finally did the mainnet launch for one of the clients, that's how we decided that if we can do an L2 for a client, why can't we do an L1 for ourselves? So how many of you are into gaming? love gaming or love to play games, quite a few. So I've been into gaming as well for a very long time, and that's how we decided that the album that we will develop that would be specifically for us gaming sector, and that's to into mind-grabbing games like Call of Duty, Need for Speed, those stuff. Right? So today the topic that has been given to me to speak on is how people can try to migrate from Web 2 to Web 3. So first of all, congratulations to everyone. We have been into Web2 space for a very long time now. We started with Yahoo Messenger, and then Orkut, Facebook, TikTok, Insta, and then slowly and gradually moved to the Web3 space with like platforms like D-Live that we have right now, where you can stream while you are playing a game and then you can earn money as well. So that's how our transition through the years and years, like more than a decade that the blockchain is there. What I believe that if somebody decides or say corporation decides that we want to migrate from Web 2 to Web 3, first of all, they have to make a decision that is it really required, right? Rather than just going with the hype that every other company is moving to a Web 3 space, ideally it should be a question that the company should ask themselves that do they really need a migration from the Web 2 to Web 3? So I'll try to use an example, right? I had the chance to meet the business development team in Hyundai. So Hyundai was one of the automobile companies that recently launched their metaverse. Right? So the statement, or you can say the answer that I got from them was that they wanted to be the first mover into this space. Like they wanted to have a first mover advantage, and that's why they built their own metaverse. But what I believe that when it comes to a customer, the end customer who's going to, or you can say, who's going to buy an automobile from them, they're not going to buy an automobile just by visiting a metaverse. Right? That's like a tangible product that a customer wants to actually see, feel, take a test drive first, right? And then after a consideration with their own family members, maybe their spouse, their children, then they will make a decision that will they buy this particular model of a car or not, or do they want to switch or they want to go to a different alternate, say Tata or any type of other vehicle in the market. So just creating a metaverse or just creating a Web3 space does not sound, you can say, genuine enough, right, for any type of organization to simply move from Web2 to Web3. Yes, there can be some advantages that the company should look forward for. That what they will get after moving to Web3, it might be a customer experience. One thing, it might be the security protocols that they want to enhance. It might be that the end user are not able to take their services after the business hours. The example can be stock market, like the share markets. A share market starts say on Monday, 9:30 in the morning, and then shuts down by 3:30 in the afternoon. So whatever shares you have to buy or whatever shares you have to sell, you have to do in those 6 hours of duration. The share market does not work on weekends like Saturday, Sunday. The share market does not work on you can say, public holidays as well. So take an example, what if I'm an individual who's working, say from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening, right? So if I have a, you can say, a working cycle of 9 to 6, ultimately I won't be able to invest into stock markets, share markets, I won't be able to sell up my stocks as well, I won't be able to buy as well. So that's something that can be moved to a Web3 space, a Web3 space that works round the clock, 24/7, 365 days. So say if I come home by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening, definitely I can sit on my system, say laptop or computer, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night. I can do whatever type of analysis I have to do and then I can buy the stocks. So these types of, you can say, industries are better examples that ideally should move to a Web3 space. Not all the 100% industry should move to the Web3 space. So this was what you can call a user experience that if somebody wants to enhance, this is what makes sense to move from Web 2 to Web 3. The other one can be a security protocol, definitely. All types of data that is being stored right now, so far, are more into a you can say centralized manner. People gave the example for Facebook, Insta. So everywhere, whatever data you store, Google for say, right, Gmail. So whatever type of data you have, you simply just go ahead and upload it onto your Google Drive. But by the end of the day, Google employees do have the access to your data. Right? So if some organization decide, definitely this can be a good idea to move to a Web3 space wherein all this data can be hosted on multiple servers. Say few people from here are the one who are running nodes on the blockchain. They are storing the data, and then few people out there are trying to store the data as well. So if one node gets compromised, the other nodes still have the access to the data, and it would be possible to for a hacker to go ahead and try to hack the complete database. So that's one more industry that makes sense in order to move from a Web2 to a Web3 space. Right? So over here, I'll try to take a pause. Still, I would like to know from all of you, right, if anybody have any questions so far, or if anybody have anything in their mind that they want to discuss regarding the movement from a Web2 to Web3 space. Then I'll proceed.
So I just heard that term L1 and L2. So just wanted to know about more about that.
So first of all, L1. So L1 are the layer one blockchains like Ethereum, right, that initially got developed, and then it comes for L2s. So what L2 is like a layer two blockchain. So layer two blockchain is something that comes out as a branch from an L1. So whatever protocols, whatever laws you can say that the particular blockchain have, and if somebody say tomorrow some developer decides that okay, Ethereum is something that's giving me say 15 minutes of a transaction time and 1500 to 1800 INR of a transaction cost by trying to transfer my funds. So I do have the access, or you can say I do have the expertise that I can try to enhance that protocol. And what I'll do, I'll create something else, say Polygon out of it. So Polygon would be an L2 that has been developed on the same infrastructure that has been carried forward from Ethereum. So now Polygon will provide you 30 seconds of a transaction time and say 17 paisa of a transaction cost. So that's how L2s are branched out from an L1. That's like in a simple nutshell, that's how L1 and L2 proceeds with their own development. Yeah, so Polygon is a fork of an Ethereum. So whenever a blockchain is being developed, so once again, it's a decentralized world, right? So nobody over here can act as a centralized authority. So if I'm building an L1 today as well, I pretty much know that tomorrow somebody can come up and they would be like open to fork it out. And if there's something that they can develop which is in better standards, definitely they are good to go ahead and then they can fork out my own blockchain. So L2, okay, so L2s are the hard forks out of the L1s, right? So they run parallelly, right? So Ethereum is also running right now, and then Polygon is also running parallelly. So Polygon is something which is EVM compatible. So they will use the same foundation that has been provided by Ethereum. Say the wallet address that starts with OX 800, right? The wallet address will remain the same. Polygon will not come out tomorrow and say that okay, my wallet address will start with something XYZ. Right? I don't want to do that. What I want to do is a specific, or you can say critical uh, characteristics of Ethereum that I want to change. And that was only the transaction speed and the transaction cost that I want to modify. And that's how Polygon proceeded ahead. And when it comes to blockchain, what I have seen so far is that the people are more down to the earth. It's not like that Ethereum will say that, hey, you are trying to do something out of us, so we won't authorize you. So that is something that not happens in a centralized manner, right? You can't fork out Facebook and create something out of it, right? So Facebook is something which is their own IP, intellectual property, so they will keep it. Coming to the migration from Web 2 to Web 3.0, right? So first of all, when an organization decides that, okay, we have understood that we want to enhance customer experience, as I was giving example of the stock market, that okay, we are developing a platform wherein people would be able to come and trade their stocks, and that is something that we can provide them around the clock, 365 days a year and 24/7. So a migration is something that needs to be done in a systematic format. It's not like that they can just build something out in the background behind the curtain and tomorrow they will release it to the market and say that okay, the migration has been done. A migration is something that needs to be done in a more phase-wise manner. First of all, there would be a small pilot project, say that we will do with 50, 100 or 200 close group. That's how a migration is done. Like with a closed group, we do it, we do the bug testing, we test it out. That's how blockchains are also being built. So when a blockchain is being built, there's a POC first, proof of concept. Then we develop a test net. In a test net, developers from around the globe comes in, they test it out, bug testing, hackathons, everything is being done. There's a 5 months, 6 months, or to some extent 1 year or 2 years of time frame that happens wherein a test net is being rigorously tested out and then a mainnet is being launched. Mainnet is something that there's no looking back, right? You can't stop a blockchain now. So till the time mainnet has not been launched, there's multiple events wherein things would be modified, in the GitHub repository as well. Most of the codes would be posted. The blockchain developer would be pulling all those repositories and making the changes. So once a mainnet has been launched, there's a journey that needs to be, you can say, in a straightforward manner, the journey happens with blockchains after the mainnet. So that's how, before the migration, let's keep it in a phase-wise manner. Let's do it with 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. Once each and everything has been tested out, there's no bugs anymore, then a full-fledged rollout is something that needs to be carried out. That's how the migration from Web 2 to Web 3.0 is being handled. That's all that I have, guys. So the L1 that I was developing, as I told Mahesh as well. So the testnet is round the corner. In the next 2 to 3 months, the testnet would be out, and mainnet is first quarter next year, 2024. We also have an in-house game development team working on a triple A level high traffic game because this was something that was not available in India so far. Most of the resources were being acquired by Activision, EA, and then Ubisoft. So we decided that why don't do it in India itself. So we have our own game studio, we have our own game team from Unreal Engine. So yeah, the game would be out shortly as well.
So, you
Yes,
explain
sure.
a bit more about the loans that you take in blockchain, and also, I think this is the developer, and how do you
So take an example from a centralized perspective first, right? So when a centralized business is being set up, all the data gets stored on a single server. I'll take an example, say, of a financial sector, let's say bank, ICICI Bank. So today you get a message from ICICI Bank that internet services will not be available from say 12 o'clock in the midnight till 4 o'clock in the morning because they are trying to do some upgrade on their own server. So those 4 hours are something that services are not available to anyone. Anyone around the globe, services will not be available. Why? Because server is something that is being set up on a, you can say, specific place. They have to shut it down, they have to upgrade, and then they will switch it on. When it comes to blockchain, say I have a particular data that is being distributed among 1000 miners, the people who are actually running the nodes for my particular blockchain. So in order to do the upgrade, once again the upgrade can be done in phase manners. One node will go down, it will upgrade itself, it will switch it on periodically, second, third, fourth node, likewise. So when it comes to a centralized way, the nodes, or you can say the servers, those are something which are being run by bank itself. Over here in blockchain, anybody can be a node runner. If you have the capacity, if you have those mining rigs, or whatever XYZ the particular blockchain requires, say in Ethereum, which is proof of work. In proof of work, you need a mining rig specifically to do the block mining in order to run a node. When it comes to, say, a blockchain like Tron, which is DPoS, dedicated proof of stake, over there you don't need a mining rig, but you need access to those Tron tokens that you stake, and if you are among those first 27 SRs, super representatives, you would be able to do the block mining. You would be able to run the nodes. So in proof of work, there's no limitation how many people can become a node operator. But yes, when it comes to proof of stake, there's a specific requirement and a specific limitation. As I gave you the example in Tron, only 27 people can do the block mining. The node runners are only 27 in Tron. So it all depends on what type of protocol, what type of blockchain is being built, what they are trying to support. Say in cyber blockchain, we have the consensus that we are developing is POE, proof of engagement. Over here, we don't have the binary concept, we don't have the staking concept as well. So whosoever who's trying to help the blockchain upscale, say the game developers, the game designers, or the community influencers as well, who are upscaling the blockchain in one way or the other, those are the people who can file in for the application and they are the one who can run the nodes as well. So for me, that is something that makes more sense. It might be for Ethereum, proof of work makes more sense because they need the computation power in order to release the other blocks and calculate it. For Tron, which has access to 100 billion as the total supply, proof of stakes makes more sense to them because if staking is not there, definitely they won't be able to upscale in the market. Every other day, each and every individual would try to sell off their tokens if there's liquidity in the market. So they proceeded and they went ahead with POS.
That's all great. Thank you. Come on, guys. You learned something, right? Yes? That's great. Every time you're learning something, you better start paying in some tokens. You got some tokens? All right. So next, we're going to talk about DeFi. Anybody know about DeFi? So, yeah, decentralized finance, right? This is another topic about investments and how Web3 world works for the exchange and so on and so forth. I'm not really good at it, so let's bring our expert, Ujjwal. Ujjwal Bajaj is co-founder of UI Square. So let's see and let's learn something on DeFi. So so far so good, guys. Learning? Like everybody's awake now, yeah? Okay. I think we need to start our next time we do these. We need to start with investing. I think that was good, right? Yes. Um, so after this, we have one more. We have one more session, and then yeah, we should be done by 6. There's networking after that. Um, Anybody has any questions while we are waiting on technical setup? Yes? Yes, go ahead. Go for it. Yes. That's a great question. I'm not a layer guy. It's a good question for you. If a layer 2, if you hard fork a layer 2, will that be layer 3? If you hard fork a layer 2, will that be layer 3 or another layer 2? Okay, that will be layer 3. Awesome. Good job. Stage is all yours.
Thank you, Mahesh sir. Good evening, all of you. Myself, first of all, Ujjwal Bajaj, and I'm the director of a blockchain development company based out of Jaipur, Bangalore. And we are developing applications for all over the world. That's what we are developing on blockchain-powered applications, including dApps and NFT marketplaces. All of you must be aware of this. DeFi, dApps, and then staking platforms, NFT marketplaces, bridges. So all kind of applications on application layer, we develop those things. So, okay. One second. All right. As I mentioned, my company's name, U Square. Our tagline is ahead of time. So we started with blockchain around 2 years back, and it's been a wonderful journey. You are into a right space right now. This technology is in its nascent phase, and whole world is developing right now in Web3 metaverse. You must have heard. So today's topic, which we are going to cover, introduction to DeFi. How many of you are aware of DeFi? First of all, please. Two hands, three hands. Okay. So it's a good topic to start with, and then we'll discuss launching your own DeFi application. First, we'll understand what's DeFi, then challenges, and then how to pitch investors and what's there next in DeFi. So we have short time, and we'll try to quickly cover all of them. All right, so let's have basic understanding. I think you must all be aware of this in the recent sessions that what is Web3? Right now we are building on Web2, that is read and write in short. Now we are going to own the data as well. So simply Web3, if we talk about Web3, reading the data, it was there in Web1. Writing it was there in Web2. Now we can own the data, and that's the thing which is making it decentralized, more decentralized, and more power to the user. So now the user can actually have the ownership of that data, which is owning in the digital records, which is there on the blockchain, which is immutable. Next slide. Okay. So this term blockchain, it's beautiful technology, which is actually a distributed ledger technology. Considering DLT, we'll eventually understand what's all of these technical terms like decentralized operating system, DLT, execute transactions to transaction. Basically, in blockchain, there's simple phenomena. There is a server, and which is very secure, and there is a storage as well, which can't be tampered. So simply saying how it's distributed among peer nodes. No single entity is controlling the blockchain right now. All of the nodes who are there, they uh, they have a consensus, and that consensus decide. Previous slide, please. It's working. Oh, it's only working forward, not backward. Okay. So traceable and transparent system, beautiful system which can actually change the trust issue. Wherever there is a requirement of a trustless system, you always cannot blockchain. Always. For example, let's consider Twitter. Okay. Now, what happens on Twitter right now? Twitter is owning all the tweets which you are sending across on the platform. And if there is another system which is there on another application which is there on blockchain, so that D-Twitter, if we consider that D-Twitter, that if that is built, now your own tweet is uh, converted into a IPFS link, for example, if you are aware of IPFS. So that link is gone to blockchain, and that can be converted into a digital asset which you can own. So simply owning anything, that is actually digitalization of any asset. That is the basic concept of owning ownership of the data, and with the help of blockchain technology, we can fulfill that. Now let's come to the main topic, decentralized finance. See, it's the most beautiful topic which I'm right now working in. My company all the projects are basically of decentralized finance, so I can 100% guarantee that whatever I'm saying is out of the practical experience which I'm having. Okay. Next slide, please. Alright. So DeFi, if we talk about the finance which is right now, there is central authorities, there are intermediaries like banks, governments. So what if we remove them? What if we remove them and give power to the user, who is actually who is a customer? So removing all the intermediaries right now in our financial system, making it decentralized with the help of mathematics, and I trust mathematics more than humans because it's not making errors. Although we are only making those codes, but yeah, that whole financial logic and that whole business logic is run on a simple smart contract, which is a programmable code. All the concepts of DeFi, all the concepts of finance like derivatives and trade, swaps, all these insurance, lending and borrowing, these can be operated on a piece of a code. It can be written the whole logic. And now that logic is put it on blockchain, and we can interact with that logic, and all the system is automatically, there is a term in decentralized finance, which is automated market. So this is all automatically controlled by that piece of code, no any single authority. Now, applications of DeFi, cross-border payments, we are aware of these, like we can send without any intermediary. Then crowdfunding. Now, for example, you want to open your own startup, and you want to gather some funding, and now what's the challenge? If you talk about global investors, and we want to pitch, the best idea is to go for a crowdfunding. It's one of the hit idea, one of the top idea, which you can choose for getting a crowdfunding to a project which globally, and you can get investment in cross border without any intermediaries, right? So that's one of the application of DeFi. Although it has like some of the notes, which some of the challenges which we can discuss later. But yeah, when lending and borrowing, you can get loans, and you can lend and you can borrow loans through decentralized finance platforms. Stable coins, beautiful concept. Like, what is stable coin? Stable coin is a cryptocurrency which is backed, which is pegged by a fiat currency. You must have heard of USDT, USDC. So all these are stable coins. So that's one of the application of decentralized finance. Then yield farming. Again, these all are actual or traditional financial concepts, which are right now in a decentralized fashion. So yield farming, you stake something, you farm your tokens, and then get in return during a certain period of time, according to the APYs. Then DEXs, decentralized exchanges. So decentralized exchanges, like the exchange you are right now having, all your equity and all the trades which you do on your platforms, on your current platforms, is now they're happening on platforms like Uniswap and Mixup. So all these are DEXs where you can trade one token in return of another, and that is all automated market. So I mentioned about AMM, so it's not involving any intermediary. And also one benefit is that there is no need of order book. How trade happens right now. We need a buyer, we need a seller to make the trade happen in our current order book, right? And what is the concept here? There is a smart contract, all the funds are there in that particular contract, so there is always liquidity available in that. So no need of buyer and seller being present at the same time to make that trade happen. So that's the beautiful concept where we can build DEXs, and it's a great application of decentralized finance. Next. Okay, right now, like, if anyone of you is having the idea to launch his or her own DeFi application, how we can proceed with that? Next slide. See the basic things which we need for application deployment. The first is the target audience. What is the target market? If you are aware of crypto markets, it's mostly community driven. You must have idea for like a particular target audience, like gaming industry, like NFT industry, or many audiences are there in the crypto industry. So competition, you are aware of the marketplaces, for example, like OpenSea, Rarible. So you must be something different, putting something different and adding some value more over to that. Then marketing, surveys, regulations, and go-to-market strategies. All these are important points which you should consider while launching your DeFi application. This is all about the project discovery, basic discovery, where you want to launch your own application. Next. Again, very important point. Launching any application, any DApp, not only based out of DeFi, but any application which blockchain to choose. Very important point. So basic things, basic needs are security, obviously, scalability, interoperability is very crucial. I'm not a Solana fan. I'm more EVM guy. So I prefer EVM because of all these factors which are very highlighted and strong in Ethereum-based blockchains. So interoperability, as metaverse is coming, a lot of blockchain applications are coming. There needs to be an interoperable system. So you must consider a blockchain which is interoperable. Then developer community, how strong the developer community is. Token economics, definitely. Your tokenomics is all which is deciding like how much you can return, how much you get the ROI out of your venture. And then regulatory compliance is very important. Next slide. Now, launching your DeFi apps comes with launching your own utility token, right? So, own utility token involves, I mentioned about tokenomics, all the procedures like burn mechanism, mint mechanism, and these are the basic deciding factors which we consult for clients, and those are the ones which actually give them the initial kickstart, initial boost for the money. It's very important. Then the stake. Right now, what's happening in DeFi also there is a concept coming which is called as token. Okay, I think it's little boring, but I just need your attention. So, okay, so I was considering saying about DeFi version 2, a concept of reflection which is coming. So, what happens in reflection of tokens? In that concept, simply whenever you hold a token in your wallet itself, you get the return on that. Holding the token in your wallet gives you return, not on a particular platform. So concepts are evolving. So these kind of, if you are building your own utility token, my suggestion is to go with reflection, to have staking, to have burn mechanism, to have discounted fees, to include selfies. So a lot of parameters are there which decides how crucial is your utility token developed. So that's about the utility token. Please, next slide. Token listing, very important. See, this factor actually happened with one of my clients. Lot of scams happen in crypto. You just missed by one or two things, and then you are gone. It's like crores, millions. So what happened? The guy listed on a platform called BCrypt. That he listed his token on that, and on his Telegram community, there is another group, another bot which came, and a similar kind of token was developed and launched on BCrypt. He got all the crowdfunding there itself, all the just after the launch, and because of that bot, whole money was given to a wrong contract, wrong smart contract, and whole his marketing strategies failed, and the project got down. So, very crucial step to launch on a particular authentic platform. Vesting, I think these are the procedures where you launch and then give airdrops, vest, and token listing. So, listing platform again is a crucial step while deciding your token listing. Next slide. All right, so dApp development, I'm a tech guy. So developing your dApp, now I think most of you are developers here. So you are working on Web 2. What involves more to develop on Web 3? So basically there is one important term which is smart contract. Then integration, Web 3 integration, which comes into the picture, which is very crucial to develop a dApp. So considering dApp development, we need Web2 stack, which is like TypeScript and React, which is most popular in dApps. And considering other things, which cloud you are using, Node, and then smart contract, obviously, which language you are preferring. Most of the dApps are using Solidity. Next. Challenges. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah. See, developing a dApp is like 40% of the work you have done. I would say only 40% because 60% comes through marketing. It's all marketing game. So that's the biggest challenge. 40% is like your dApp should be 100% functional and no errors, like no compromise in smart contract development and all, because that's immutable and we can't change what's gone. But all of the 60% is covered in the marketing challenge when you consider dApp development. Next slide. Security challenge. Most of the breaches which happens in DeFi industry is, for example, a smart contract is developed not correctly according to the security measure. Anybody can breach that smart contract. The first point, okay, and then what we do, I think you must understand, wherever there is change in state, if we do it in Web2, that can be tampered with. But if we do it in a smart contract on blockchain level, that's the thing which we ask to our clients, that always do your state changes